Hi, I'm Dana, and I'm going to be reading a passage from Alice in the Know by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. I raised my head and sniffed the air. There was that burning rope smell I'd noticed the last time we were at Mark's. I glanced down and figured it was coming from the direction of Brian and Keno at the far end of the pool. They were sitting on the edge, their legs in the water, smoking something. Mark went over and kidded around a little with Keno. Took something from him and inhaled, then handed it back. "They're at it again," I said. Brian had that sleepy, faraway look on his face. Keno looked a little more nervous, keyed up. I could hardly stand to look at Brian any more. But not because of this, because of that sex quiz. I imagined he could see that right through me, and his smile always seemed a leer. Yet I had to act friendly and breezy, or else he'd know that it had really gotten to me. By the fact that he'd trained me and those other girls, the fire in my gut flared again. "What do you suppose it's like?" I asked. "Pot?" said Patrick. "Altered state of consciousness," said Gwen. "Supposed to make you euphoric, relaxed, etc." "Depends how much you smoke," said Patrick. "You've tried it?" I asked. He answered. I'd asked the question, but I didn't expect the answer. I turned and looked at Patrick. Patrick! I was sitting there with two of the smartest kids in my whole school, and one of them had had sex and one had smoked pot. "Why?" I asked. "Because I wanted to see for myself what it was all about." "So you have tried to crack just to see what it's about?" I said I was curious, not crazy. "So what's it like?" "And everything's right with the world kind of feeling, I guess, mellow." Then why aren't you sitting down there with Brian?" "Because I know I don't trust an artificial high," said Patrick. "Know what I mean?" "Well, obviously Brian doesn't go to that philosophy," said Gwen. "We've got a study going about marijuana, and it affects an oxygen in the blood, and—" She stopped, talking when the patio door opened, and Miss Stedmeister came out. We hardly ever saw Mark's parents. It was as though they turned the backyard and pool and family room completely over to Mark's friends when we came, happy to ever have us there. If we saw them all, it was usually just to dart in or out like chipmunks, taking empty glasses back into the house or setting out fresh bowls of chips. But this time Miss Stedmeister stood erect there on the patio, a tall, thin woman with an angular face. She was wearing a pink polo shirt, a beige skirt, and sneakers, her short salt-and-pepper hair like a cap on her head. "I have your attention for a moment," she said. She was standing beside the table where Patrick and Gwen and I were sitting. When the chatter didn't subside, Patrick picked up a spoon and tapped it against the side of his glass. People turned around and stared. Now that all eyes were on Miss Stedmeister, she appeared self-conscious and cleared her throat twice before she spoke. "Just so you know, there is no marijuana smoking at this address, inside or out," she said. It sounded as though she was reciting a speech she had practiced a number of times. "There is also to be no alcohol. If you bring any of these things with you, we'll have to ask you to leave. Thank you."